What up, Yasharel? My head is bowed to all the princes of Yehuda, and to Yasharel, and to Gad. I love you, Gad. Okay, what are we going to do tonight? Well, for one thing, I want to tell you that I make my plans, and when I got up this morning, two things y'all spoke to me. Now, I was going to take you into Nehemiah, not Nehemiah, but Zephaniah to see what y'all said to Esau for today. And we understand he is the white man. I make my plans, but yeah, because I didn't receive anything from him, I didn't have any more dreams or anything. So I just said, well, I didn't receive anything, so I'll just go ahead and go into Zephaniah. So while I'm in the process of getting ready to do that, he said, I want you to give them this, and I know why, because I had so many questions about that dream. And I promised every single one of them DM that I would put the time in to make this video, because Father had already spoken to me. So we're going to make that real clear tonight. And I have stuff that Yahuwah wants to speak about. And then after that, if we have time to go into Zephaniah, we'll go in. We'll do it. But if we don't, we'll go into it tomorrow night. And then unless he gives me something else. Because I make my plans, but he orders my steps, and we do this his way. This is his. So I want to. One of the things that Father wanted me to address, and I know it was because of all the questions that I got, was idols. I didn't even know what an idol was. I had no idea what it was, and it was never taught in the churches. I mean, did any of your Christian pastors, when you were in it, tell you that ever go into Deuteronomy and talk to us about what an idol is and the significance and the danger of it? No, we didn't. No, they didn't, because they had an idol right there in our face the whole time, with that false Christ laying across it. So no, they weren't going to expose that, but I'm going to expose that to you, because y'all said I want you to show them now, because they are already awoke. They can see it. Give it to them. It's a revelation. And then look around your house, because I can almost guarantee, because we just thought that the things that we had were innocent, and they are not. In fact, one of the reasons why Yahuwah is killing Canaanites, the whole house of Edom, Esau, is because of their idolatry and the wickedness behind it. So we need to find out, what is it that offends Yahuwah in this idolatry? Now, I'll tell you a few things out of Deuteronomy, but I'm going to tell you, you need to go there for yourself. So that Yah, because like when you go there for yourself, Yah is with you. He's going to teach you the rest of the way. You see what I'm saying? He's going to point things out to you, make you understand things, because you have a new spirit in you now, Yah said. And you get to see things the way he sees them. You see what I'm saying? Which is someplace I'm going to take you tonight in that dream. Now, but I want to name these off, because these are the ones that he gave me. Okay, number one. An idol is anything that is 3D, a statue that sits up. It can be an animal. It can be... Oh yes, Father, yes. Okay, it can be 3D and it sits up. We understand that to be a statue. And nobody ever told us it was an idol. So I'm telling you right now, the statues of in your house, whether it be animals, whether it be a hero, whether it be, a trophy. Thank you, Father. A trophy. Let me see. You know what a statue is, and it sits up. It has face on it, eyes, ears, nose, and mouth. It can be male or female. And anything that is carved into or engraved in wood, iron, or any of the rest of it. We understand that. Go into Deuteronomy and get what Father said. I'm just giving you the basics of it. And then we got male or female. Now this was the biggest one for me. Okay? Anything that is created into a statue that Yahuwah created in the firmament, which is the heavens, And there are four heavens because in ancient Hebrew, Sheol or Hades is also considered a heaven. Enoch, the book of Enoch. So he's talking about anything that's even created down there that is turned into, with man's hands, a statue or an idol, or an image to be worshipped. That could be your celebrities. We're learning that today, aren't we? Wow. Let me see. A lot of people like to collect horses. A lot of people like to collect, and you know what? They make them so pretty. And like women, we are attracted to beautiful things. And so we go and we say, oh, that's beautiful, not knowing that's an idol because we were never taught what that was. Your children's toys, all those figurines, all that's an idol in Yahuwah's eyes. And yes, Father, and it doesn't matter whether you pray to it or not. If it is in your possession, I have laid curses on you for it being in your possession, and the curses will lay on you until you clean it out. And I will not rest there. That is what he said. So, figurine toys, it can be a car with a face put on it. It can be, you have to really research that so that it doesn't come into your house and so you can see it in your house. Now, one night I was, and this is when y'all was cleaning us up. He said, we read it the other night, I will clean you up and take you in. You understand? This is what it is. Now oh my goodness, Father, I forgot where I was going with that one. Oh my goodness. Okay. We understand that y'all said that it doesn't matter if you pray to it, just having it in your possession will do it. That's correct, right? Yes, it's correct. Oh, yes. Thank you. So this is how he gave it to me. I'm just going to give it to you the way he gave it to me. So he woke me up in the middle of the night, and we were celebrating what Esau, the Christians and Judaism, and that's why they're called Jews, because they own the false religion Judaism. We are called Hebrews because we live our Hebrew laws by our Elohim, who is Hebrew and black. See? That's why there's a difference that's why you see me posting that, because Father gave it to me. He said, I want you to post this so they can understand that there's a difference. We're not a part of Judaism. That's for all Gog Israels. So they are Jews. We are Hebrews. So we are brews and not Jews. Very different people. And that separates us. So, okay, let's go back to idols, but I don't want to forget to tell you that because it came to me. Okay, so we understand that the idols can be statues or anything like that. So I want to move on, and their wickedness. When you have a statue in your house, demons that are still under Yahuwah's control and at his feet rush to that stuff. They know the law too. So they begin tearing down what you have in your house. This is going to answer a lot of questions for you. So y'all woke me up in the middle of the night. He said, come in the house. We were celebrating what we thought to be one of his feast days, tabernacle. And he woke me up in the tent. And he told me to come in the house. And so I came in the house, and I sat down, and I said, yes, Father. He said, look around your house. So I started looking around the house, and I had all kinds of figurines. I had Gad up in there. I had wolves up in there. I had Yehuda stuff up in there. I'm telling you, I had statues. I had boxes or statues that had music. So I look around the room. And he started pointing these out, and he said it very clear to me. These are idols. They are idols. We had already learned in Deuteronomy what he was speaking of, but then when I looked in my house, I was like, girls, be quiet, or I promise you, you will not get those cookies tonight I bake. This is Yahuwah's time. So I looked around the house, And he said, these are idols. And because I knew what he said in Deuteronomy, I'm like, I was freaking out. And I mean, it was like 4 o'clock in the morning. So I ran out to the tent. I woke everybody up and I said, come in the house right now. You're not going to fucking believe what we have in this house. You will not believe it. So they all came in there and they were looking around. And by that time, I already had the house sacked. Everything was laying on the kitchen floor, the living room floor, and a hammer was ready for it. So I read to them what we had already learned in Deuteronomy, what an idol is, and I said, this is an idol, and this is right before my son had to throw away that wicked shit that he thought was okay, with all the spells in him. We'll talk about it. So I explained to them what was going on, and Fabian looked at me and said, wait a minute, we got idols in our house? I said, yes, we do. We do. So I'm going to tell you something. Me and Miranda and Prince went in the crib. We started gathering up that house. We pulled out everything, even a rug that is not an idol with a face on it. I'm telling you, we pulled everything, and all of our stuff was outside in the trash. I'm not kidding you. Yah is my witness, right, Father? And all the idols, all the figurines that stood up and stuff, even the toys, all the car, every single one of them was put in a bag. We took them out to the alley where Yah could see us right at his feet, because he owns the heavens, the firmament. And we busted the shit out of it. I kept hitting it. I knew it was busted, but I kept on hitting it, because I feel like, they could feel that, and I felt like the devils could see it, so I was making a fucking statement out there. I almost needed air when I got done. Plus, I had offended Father, and I didn't even know this shit was in my house. So I took vengeance against it. Believe that. My son was looking at me like, Mom, you're gonna bust me. Son, do your own job over there and stay out of my way. I was making a statement. We cleaned out our whole house, and then we were all sitting in a tent like this. We were wore out, of course. House was empty. Everything, we threw even dishes out. I'm telling you, we cleaned the house out. Anything we thought might be an idol under the law, we tossed it. So Fabian was sitting there and he said, okay, I think we probably jumped the gun here. And I said, what do you mean? He said, because I heard Yah say, I am so proud of you. Go get your stuff off the street. He said, we busted everything you wanted out of there. And we threw a lot of stuff. Mom, we threw away everything we owned. I said, but we are in the good sights of him, son. Yes, we are, Prince. That's all that matters. Let's go get our stuff, because I really want those rings back. He gave them to me. So we went out there, we got all of our stuff, we put it back in the house, and we weren't even breaking the law working on the tabernacle, because it doesn't belong to Yahuwah. It's a pagan holiday. I prove that to you on my wall. He only has 3. So Yahuwah only has 3 feast days. So we went and got all of our stuff, and we put the stuff that we could have back in the house, and that made us very happy. It didn't look like it, wow, it was home again. So you have to do the same thing. And from that time on, we just kept prospering and prospering and prospering and prospering, because he made a promise to us. You get rid of these other false gods, they cannot help you. If like when Abraham went in there and knocked it off the wall, off the thing, and it busted. The big one couldn't save those, and it couldn't save itself, because he knocked that one off too. Yah said, when you get rid of that, then I'll move myself up in there too, even in your temple. And when we started celebrating the Sabbath, we thought that when the sun went down after Sabbath, that Yahuwah left. And like after Sabbath, we all just be sitting there all sad and stuff, like, wow. And then I was sitting there one night, and Y'all said, I don't ever leave you, ever. I mean, JC left us. I mean, I'm just saying, shit. I'm just saying. Don't take offense to it. I'm a weapon. I got swords in my mouth that Yahuwah uses, and an arrow that he says keeps safe in his quiver. So I got to tell you, they cannot help themselves. So they're not going to save you. No matter how long you pray to them or try to feed them, they're going to eat that food, because they don't do anything. They're not alive. And as soon as we moved them out of the house, I am telling you, everything changes, and he gives you a spirit to follow laws. Because if you think something's okay, that you were taught by them, that was not okay. Everything's so fucking backwards with them. But you always felt it. But you learn something that's not okay, and like it says in Psalms, the more you learn my laws, the more power I put in you. You see what I'm saying? So he never leaves us. That blew my mind. I was so happy, and I told everybody else in our tribe. I said, he doesn't leave. He stays with us. He never leaves, and get this, he's inside of us. This is when we were babies. So, and I know that I tickle him. I know that I do, because when I get a revelation, I just got to get up and I'm just walking and going nuts with it in my head. And I'm like, what the? Wow. You know what I'm saying? So that was a big revelation to me. And as soon as we cleaned him out, I mean, he moved up in there, and our lives were never the same. Never. So if you even make the mistake of breaking a law, he will bring you back into it, teach you the difference of what that is and what he said. And then on the Day of Atonement, it's wiped out. You see what I'm saying? He understands. He understands. So, okay. We understand what idols are. Yes, okay, Father. It can be a ring that is in the shape of a tiger, in the shape of like the things that we discussed. Edom and these witches out here they make jewelry, and like I said, it's beautiful, and we are women, and we buy and say, oh, that's beautiful, and we put it on, and we start noticing the curses, and then we find out that the ring is an idol. You have to destroy it. I'm not telling you anything that he didn't take us through. So, and then the blessings just roll in. It's unbelievable. So, Father gave me this, and that's why I posted what I posted about Leah and Rachel today. This goes to what the idol is, and don't worry, we're going to get to that dream. This goes to what an idol can do, what curse it brings, and it's not gone by morning. And even when it's gone, you are still under a punishment for it if what you did was really offensive. And let me tell you something. Idolatry is absolutely offensive to him. It is a form of blasphemy. I mean, it is a form of blasphemy. It is what is destroying Edom outside of the fact of what they did to our brothers and our princes of Yehuda and Gad here. It's another reason for it. That's why our people are so locked up in that witchcraft. And I watched our people in Canada of Gad, and the tribe of Esau, which is police department, was coming on their land. And she went in the house, which was a little tent, and lit sage and started going around her house. That's witchcraft. If she was back in our laws and back in our covenant, they wouldn't even have thought of going on there. And if they did go on that fucking land, y'all would handle that shit with angels of war. You better get in the Old Testament and find out what he's really about. Judges will give you a good taste of what Yahuwah really is, my Father. He's warrior, we're warrior. We're made in his image. And we do not like wickedness. I would advise you to go in those books and read. So, now I got off track. I lost my train of thought. Okay, Rachel, yes, thank you, Father. Thank you. So why was Leah, who was not the wife that Jacob wanted, why did Yahuwah bless her womb with 10 of our brothers of our tribes of Yasharel today, of the 12? And Rachel had to wait. No. And then we got Rachel, who is Jacob's heart. He loved this woman from the first time that he saw her. And he worked to get her. And then he worked because he was tricked. I mean, this is the heart of his. And she brought through 2 sons. That would be Joseph and Benjamin. And at Benjamin's birth, she died. Back in those days, they bled out. And he was fine. Why did he curse? Yes, And then Rachel had to watch while her sister gave birth to all those boys, those princes. Gave him his firstborn prince. Off tops, he gets a double portion. Remember, Reuben, it was taken from him because he knew his father's couch and his wife. Why did y'all do that? Even though Jacob loved Rachel so much, and then he took her in the end, after the tribe was completed, the tribes of Yasharel. I will tell you why. When Jacob took all of his belongings and was going to leave her father's house, we're going to talk about Rachel. And I have to get up because this blew my mind, and it's going to blow it again telling it to you. Okay. When Jacob got all of his belongings, his wives, everybody, his cattle, and they took off and left her father's house. And then we know that they got together and they came after Jacob and his wives and all of it and said, "You stole from me, you stole from me." Well, what did they steal? Jacob said, "I didn't steal anything, and neither did any of my people." And then we've got Rachel, who has been born into idolatry through her parents. Her father was an idol worshiper. He had many of them. Esau has many gods. Yasharel has one, and he's upright. So she takes one of her father's gods. Now that right there told me she didn't trust Yahuwah, because you would have seen, you saw Yahuwah blessing everything that Jacob touched. Everything. So it told me she didn't trust Yahuwah because she stole one of her father's gods. And when he came to get that statue, which is all it was, she took it and she put it on the ground and she sat on it. And she closed her thighs. She had chosen her God. And what happened from that one movement? Her womb was no longer fertile. And she had to wait and lose her life in the end, couldn't even enjoy the child, because she took that false god and sat on it and kept it protected between her legs, where a child comes forth. She went many years and never ever had to watch her sister, one after another. She wept to Yahuwah. Why won't you bless my womb? Do you see the curse that comes over it? The very place that was going to be a blessing to her and her husband and to the house of Yasharel was shut down because a false god had been laid up against it to be hid and protected, because it couldn't protect itself or her. And so her ovaries and her fallopian tubes and her uterus, the cradle of life itself, was shut down and brought through her sister, who was not Jacob's love. So what does this tell us? That even in the end, That one move, y'all still had his plan with her. He brought through them last two, didn't he? Joseph and Benjamin. And then she died. She didn't get to see any of Joseph's grandchildren. Didn't get to see any of that. He took her. That's cursed. And it's under Deuteronomy and the idols. Now, I think that now would be a perfect time to discuss, because the video had cut off. I want to explain something to you. Because y'all gave me something. I understand the lights that I told you about in that dream. Remember I told you I'm going to bust up an illusion for you, because now that we're awake, we can understand it. The lights of the Yehudan princes that I saw, Yahuwah said they are the illuminaries in this earth, not the Illuminati. They are not lights. They are full of darkness. You see that today. And when I was standing on that mountain high, all I saw was those tiny little lights. They were no bigger than about that, just far away. And then it was like he zoomed in my vision. And I saw Yehudan princes standing there in blue t-shirts with the Nike emblem on it, and Nike shoes and a tire. And as soon as I saw that, I looked up and I saw Father's chest. And then I looked and the garment looked like something like silk. That's the only thing I can compare it to, because I can't wear silk. It makes me too hot. But that's what the garment looked like, silk. And it was just huge, a chest. And I saw the shoulders and about that much of the arms, and that was it. And when I looked back down, like I said, the princes were standing there. There was no lights. And he said what he said. And then I said, do you want me to go get him? And then I looked back down there, and then the lights were back on. That's why it's so important for you to wake up, Yehuda, my princes. Because you're going to lead. You're going to be the light. You're going to be the lamp that everyone is going to need. You understand that? You're going to be the protection that Yah goes through. When he fills you with this power. And you will fight like David. And you will take down 100 men at the same time and go for the rest of them. Because you will be filled with unbelievable power. That's why you have to lay it down. Now today, I believe in evidence. I don't mess around with it. I go by Hebrew law. So I brought you that evidence today on my wall, because y'all said I want you to go get that and put it in their face before you show them this. So I did. What Nike is, she is a female goddess. That's bullshit. She's full of shit. Yep. She's also, and this is from watching the war that I know this personally, as God's witness. She is an iron statue sitting on a building super high in Ukraine, Russia, all through Magog, Europe. Every white man's got that in the city. You understand me? She is a fake-ass god of Greece. This is their shit. Now that you understand what Nike is and all the rest of these labels, I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to picture this, because this is why the lights went out below that mountain he took me to, where he sits high. You put that gear on. You bust your ass to work, my princess. Now, out of all due respect, I'm just coming as your sister. That's it. I'm coming at your sister. That's it. And I'm telling you what Father said. And it's going to bless you. So just sit with me for a minute. You bust your ass to go get all that stuff. And you put it on this false goddess. This false fucking God. Now, you get two reactions. I'm going to bust down the walls of Edom. I'm going to tell you the honest God's truth. I mean, cancel the word out, G-O-D. I'm going to tell you the honest Yahuwah's truth. Is that better, Father? The people that are now just as broke as you are, you're broke now because that shit costs money. My son threw $4,000 away. I know. You wear that stuff in front of the people, and you have put a filter in front of yourself. And you look like something so much to them. And unless you sold your soul to Gog, every one of you are right down here. Now, we're not talking to the ones that sold it. We're not going there. Everybody else is over here, and they can't afford it, or they're in the same boat that you are. They have bought it, and now they look like a champagne lifestyle, but it's actually just an old English 40 ounce. Those are what illusions are. Now, let me tell you the other side of it. You got Edom, the white man over here, that designs this bullshit. He even came right down to the false god that he put on it. Pulling your fucking money in, and dressing themselves in fine linens that come from outside the country. And spending your money while you're going hungry, they're eating fat. And all the while, you are wearing one of their false gods. And there is forever going to be a yoke and a punishment around your neck. And they are laughing at you. Now, speaking for my princes, and I bow my head to you, that have already figured this out, and went through their closet, and pulled it all out. We took it to the street, and that is what I would advise you to do. Make a public announcement of it. Take it to the street and burn it. Or dump what he told us to put on it and destroy it so no one can pull it out and sport it some more. Don't sell it. You'll get in trouble for that. You destroy it. And you have done that. And now, the white man is not making that money anymore, and you're not giving it to him. And you are not under the curses of our Father Yahuwah under Hebrew law, not to make yourself a prostitute and a billboard to the house of fucking Edom, who have so many fucking gods that cannot do a thing for them in their calamity and their fucking day of disaster for what they did to my princes. They fucked our brothers up. Tormented them before they took them out. And you wear their false fucking gods that blood and that torment and that fucking abuse went to. You are fucking wearing it. And then you got Father, who gave you that job, who's always been looking out for you, my princes, who gave you the money to buy clothes. How come you don't wear shirts that say Yahuwah? How come you don't have shirts that celebrate coming from the tribe of our King David, Yehuda? How come you don't wear property of Yahuwah? How come we don't do and take what the Christians did with Kirk Franklin and come out with our own stuff? Oh, we're gonna believe that. I'm just waiting on y'all to bring the spoil. Then you got him on your feet. Let's talk about it. the audacity, y'all said, to get up in the morning, wash yourself clean, make yourself smell good, and put a false god around your foot and walk through the day thinking I'm protecting what you're wearing and I honor it while you speak my name out of your mouth? I tell you the truth. Unless you follow my laws, you had better not speak my name, he said in the book of Jeremiah and Isaiah and all of the other books that we got back. Unless you're following my laws. Why? Because, for one thing, Yah said, I am the only Elohim, and I come and there is not another by my side. Don't keep, and don't get this law twisted, that when he said that I will have no other images in my sight, that means ever in his sight. Like the statues that you have in your house, the other things, the other false label. Do you know that every time you wear those name brand clothes, there's a spell on them? Do you know that an innocent child's blood was dropped on it so that you would think it was cool and you look good in it and go and buy it? I am telling you that Edom's shit runs so deep that I had to go buy boots that came mid-thigh. I am not playing with you. But we're going to pull our boots out of that shit tonight. But you are walking as a Hebrew, a prince of the Most High, Old Testament Elohim, Yahuwah himself, with other gods all over your body and your feet. Who's really leading your steps? Yahuwah said, I'm a king and I'm not coming out of my laws, and I set curses and punishments to this. You will not escape that. It is idolatry. And it is the celebration of the very fucking bullshit of Edom that took our brothers through the shit that they went through. You have no idea how bad they were tortured. You have no idea the things that they had to watch happen to their family that they loved to get them in line. You have no idea of the buck breaking that literally broke them as fucking men. You have no idea what it's like to watch the woman that you love be ravaged by a fucking oppressor and a child come through it. I came to tell you today, I heard someone say on Facebook that all black men do is make babies and leave them. Well, let me tell you something. I'd like to get that shit fucking straight with you right now before you say that against another brother. And Gad too. Because you did the same with us. Let me sit down for this. When we were under captivity to you, because we came out of Father's laws, Edom, you were the one that taught our brothers to do that. Because you would come in and breed our women with your seed like cattle, and you would leave. And to bring this to a fact and bear it, you did not feed them. And when you did, you trodden down their food. You fed them bullshit that they are still eating today. So who taught the princes to walk the fuck out? You did. Because Yah made me go search those days. And in my people's captivity, they damn sure remembered themselves. But we are not our ancestors today. But I mean to tell you that our princes died a terrible and lived a terrible life. under Esau's abuse and oppression. And that is why y'all is snapping those heads today. When you wear and prostitute, y'all said in Enoch 88 that the princes of Yehuda prostitute themselves to false gods with balls or sacks bigger than a horse or a mule. That is what this means by wearing strange apparel. But the strange apparel that you wear today, princes, these white men are laughing at you and getting your money and making an ass of you. To my people, Gad, I mean, even in the gangs, our people are waking up to who we are, and they're gathering back to brothers. But I present this for you to ponder. If you truly want to get back at Esau right now before Yah splits them and destroys them forever, stop wearing in our Father's face their false gods. Because you might look good to the world, but us women out here that are Hebrew standard now, we turn our backs to it. Not because you are a disgust to us, but because you bear Edom's wickedness still. And you wear it and you promote it. And we know what you are. That they have hid from you. And you come with curse and a broken heart. We Hebrew women today that are back in Zion under Father's wing and house rules, we understand why we run to him to provide a king and a prince for us. Because we don't want that world shit anymore in our men. We don't look at it like that. And Father has to look at you, royalty, the light of this fucking earth. That's what those lights were. And that's why they went out. Because you had on a false god. On a royal blue t-shirt with a Nike sign, a false god in my Father's face, with shoes and attire to match. That's why your light went out. But y'all said, I'm going to pull him from it, and I'm going to destroy it forever. And the lights went back on. And those are the ones that he sent me for, because I asked him, do you want me to go get him? Do you want me to go get him? And he said, yes. And he said, look, I looked back down, and the lights were beautiful again, and they were bright gold. Think about how ridiculous you look in that now. It's the same thing with the gospel. Go look it up. I put it on as evidence. How the Roman gospel simply means military newspaper. In Greek and in Greece and all this, Rome, all of them, a high appointed person would go out dressed in white robe, looking ridiculous in his hair. You can see wickedness all over him. And he stands and he reads a thing to the people that literally lies to him about Rome winning another war. Now, some of them they did, but a lot of them they didn't. And they lied to the people saying it was this Christ that gave his life for their sins, and our people were rejoicing in that too. And the Roman soldiers knew exactly what a gospel was, and so they would laugh at our people of Yasharel out there saying the gospel, let me give you, when they know that that was a bullshit and lie from their emperor of Rome. And that is what these clothes are like, just like that. When you say I'm going to bring the gospel, it means good news about military victories of Rome. That's all the gospel is. Go look it up. It's an illusion of witchcraft. That's all it is. And you are wearing it. on your body and on your shoes, and it's filled in your house. And so the curses have to rain down on you legally. Do you understand? But look how ridiculous it is, my brothers. Just look at it. I just want to talk to you like your sister. Your sister. This is why I tell you, you are so fucking beautiful in the way that you are made. If you knew, you would take that shit and throw it to the trash and destroy it forever. And then Yah would do what he gave my son, fine linens to wear that are not blasphemy. They are not false gods. And then he could come in legally and bless every area of his life. I'm going to tell you something. When my son went through this, he's a videoer, he's a gamer, okay? And he loved the shoes, everything you've got in your closet, he had it, $4,000 worth. Worked his ass off to get it for Esau. I told you he stayed in that bed for 2 weeks. I'm going to tell you something. When I went in that room, and I told you his fro was everywhere, his beard was gone, and I called him Ben, it's because he looked like a grizzly bear. He looked like a fucking bear that had just came out of hibernation and was through, did not sleep good. But I believe it was the time of Yah while he was going through it and Yah was washing and cleaning him up, that he became a new person. Because when his feet hit the floor, it was over. All he did was go up because he made that decision. And I remember he worked for a job, and they would not honor his Sabbath of Yahuwah. And I told Fabian, y'all said that if you give up anything for my name's sake, I don't care what it is, your field, I don't care what it is, your clothes, I don't care what it is, I'll bless you 100-fold because you did that for me. And he did. Fabe went in there and said, nothing's coming between me and my father's Sabbath or his rules, so I'm going to have to go ahead and let you go. And he had been there for years. And they were sad to it. And he did not go back. And Yah blessed him and sat him up royally. I'm telling you, Yah is a promise keeper. And he sees what you do when you tear from yourself. Because you understand. See, let me tell you something. I was the same way about the holidays. Listen, I'm going to tell you something. Y'all said be personal with him. I'm going to be personal with you. I was that way about the holidays. Listen, you can ask anybody that knows me in my community. When it was time for Christmas, I took that stuff so seriously. I thought he gave up for us. That when you walked in my freaking house, you would have thought that fat son of a bitch Santa died in there. Because everywhere you looked, it was perfect. Right down to the colors of the balls. Come with me. I'm you in what you love to wear. That you think makes you up there, but it doesn't. It puts you so far below. But just come with me. So I'm looking at all this, and I walk in that living room daily, and like I put it up 3 months in advance. Yes. And I planned 2 months before that 3 months of everything it's going to be. Yes. Right down to the stockings. The color scheme, the lighting, is the lighting right? When anybody would come in, candy canes, all that on the tree, all the bulbs were freaking amazing. I thought, oh my goodness, Homes and Gardens would get a kick out of me. When one of the kids come in there and touch any of the cookies or the candy in the dish or try to get something off the tree like the hook, the staff that it's supposed to be, I'd be like, hey, we don't touch that. Hey, put it back. Go get one out of the kitchen that's in the box. And they'd be like, well, why can't I just get, because there will be a bare spot. And I don't want that. Hey, don't touch that. No, you don't need to hear the music. No, just look at it. It's a pretty, don't touch it. That's exactly how I was. And then when I found out, like you're finding out what you're wearing and what it does to Father and what a rebuke is, it's a spit in his face. When I found out, oh my goodness, that all those beautiful little bulbs that I took so much to fucking choose, laid it out, were actually the heads of newborn babies that they sacrificed to this heathen ritual. At one time, Christmas was illegal. Anybody found celebrating that bullshit went to jail. Children removed. I got the hooks or the staffs that have nothing to do. It gets you by the neck and pulls you into nothing but curse and death. Do you understand? When I was little, I would break my neck to see that baby in the manger. All of it was a lie of witches. And I took part in it, and I meticulously decorated for it a false god. I might as well have had babies' bloody heads sitting up there because they were tortured before they killed them. Now we know today they eat them. I cannot tell you what a depression I went through. I cannot tell you. I was so freaking ashamed. And then y'all said, hey, I wrote down every one of your days. So I'm the one that wrote down that you go in through your captivity here for just a short while so that you can be a witness to the things that they do there. And I forgive you for it all. How can I hold you accountable if you didn't even know what you were doing? This was the punishment. Because your people kept choosing it and following Edom the heathen. But that's the illusion they put up, and I'm going to tell you something. What you're doing on in your house on that holiday is not what they're doing. You sit down and you celebrate Thanksgiving with Edom, and you have a good old time, and it's time for family to come together. I know, I love the holidays of Edom. Until I found out about them. It's actually a day they slaughtered our people in Gad, our princes, our beautiful princes, our princesses, our babies. Yeah. And every one of those foods go to a false god, their president, as Thanksgiving. Every single one of those fucking dishes go to a false god that gives homage. Thank you for killing the real Hebrews. Laughing and being merry, but they ain't gonna be laughing and being merry very long because y'all said, I hate your holidays and your feast days, and I'm going to destroy him, and he's doing it right now. I'm going to send nations in to carry out your children. He's doing that now. I'm going to burn your land to a crisp. He's doing that now. I'm going to take everything you built and tear it to the fucking ground. I'm going to make you desolate, Edom. And that's who you're wearing. And that's what I'm trying to tell you, that Father has given you a warning. Take it off or your light's not going to come back on. You will not be the light, the lead, the charge, or the illuminary that he uses last days. If you're going to wear the crown, you have to take everything else off and put it on. Or it doesn't matter what tribe you came from, in Father's eyes. Dad, I love you so much. You are beautiful. You are so fucking beautiful. I want to tell you the quickest way to get even with the white man. You don't have to war him. God's going to slaughter him himself for you. This is the greatest thing that you can do. It's like a knife to the chest, spiritually. Is you break all treaties with him, like I did, publicly. And you bring our children back to the wall. And you dress yourself above them in what Yah would want us to wear in this day. God, you bring our children that they have not touched back to our Father in his covenant, and we take him home with us and put him at his feet. He's the Great Spirit. And there's no one beside him. You can finally give back Esau's gods and take on an Elohim that our people before the ancestors that came out of the laws knew. And you can be blessed. You can walk this earth right now like a prince, and they'll know it. You can take everything. You know what I often wonder? I sit and fantasize about it. You know what? I wonder what would happen if every single prince of Yehuda, Gad, came together in America and warred one name, and that's Yahuwah. Can you imagine what a sound that would be? Can you understand what a fear that would be for the white man? Because he's feared you all along. He doesn't fear you as long as you're in captivity in the same bondage he's in from false gods, from the curses that our Elohim set for it. And you don't spend any more money on it. And you don't let their children sport their bullshit. But what would that be like if all of our brothers, even we got all of our tribes of Yasharels up in here, if those that are awake would scream out, and I mean roar like they did in David's day, Yahuwah's name, and praise him aloud, I'm serious, I think there would be an earthquake. You have no idea. You better go read Yasher about those brothers and the special gifts they had. That's where they got the mutants from. But can you imagine what the sound would sound like if every single prince returned to him and yelled in a war shout his name? It would rock this place and put every single one of them in this government, this military, every one of them in that yoke they put us in. Yahuwah would see to it. But imagine that, what it sound like. That'd be amazing. Yehuda, the brother Yehuda, when they were going to take Benjamin, Yehuda's roar was so freaking loud that it caused every woman in Egypt to miscarry, no matter what term they were in. Yeah. Go look at it. That's what you are giving up to wear that shit and look good for people on this level that think that it's something, but it's nothing. You are cursing yourself, and you can be so much more. And to the grandmothers, I bow my head to you for bringing our children back to this law, back to our Elohim, that nothing can crush, nothing can stand up against. And when I was in worship this morning, listen, when I was in worship, when I get up, I go to the floor, lay my head on the floor and worship him. I'm really excited to see what he's got planned for us for the day, and I tell him. So, and everything goes wonderful when I do that. It's through the whole day. So I get up and I worship. And today when I was doing it, sometimes I'm quiet, sometimes I'm kind of chatty, But I'm praising him, I'm worshiping. And I got down, I put my head down. I said, "Good morning, Father." And I told him what I always say. I can't wait to see what you got planned for us today. I love you so much, God. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. When I said that, I heard, "I want you to bow your head to the sisters of Zion that you have watching your videos." And my head was still down. My head was down like this, and I went, "Are you sure?" And I went, and I was like, "Father, of course you're sure. Of course you're sure." But I never knew that they were watching my videos. I said, "I will certainly do that, Father," because he sent me for the princes. And I just never thought that I mean, I do have some sisters that are in with We Are Royals because they asked for a friend because I let them in. But I had no idea that they were watching the videos. So I bow my head to you, my sisters, my princesses. We're about to walk into royalty. Well, we're already walking in royalty, but we're about to walk up out of here in this last Exodus. But thank you so much for coming in and watching the video. And I love you for telling me too, because I had no idea, really. But I just covered everything on this list, and it was kind of long. So we can do Zephaniah tomorrow. This is what we can do while we watch Father tear this down, because you did learn something tonight. And it was important that Father got this to, because I felt that. You know what? Let me tell you something. Let me ask you something, princes. All of you, everybody in here. If you had a son, and he's just your everything, like the princes are to Father, and like we, the princess daughters, are to Father, and they started buying clothes that was worship and honor towards one of their other friends' mother. I mean, not mother, but father or mother. And you're feeding them, protecting them, keeping angels on them, and you're saying, "Oh, thank you," and giving it to they're giving it to another person that's not doing anything, but your kids just love them as a parent, and you're just, they know you're providing everything, but wow, what a dad he's got. How would that make you feel? Because Father, if we're made in his image, then he has feelings. He has the same emotions that we have. How would that make you feel? Because that's the same thing you're doing when you wear their fucking fashion that they snuck in on you, and it's actually a spit in Father's face, the same way it would be a spit in your face, and it hurts him the same. I felt that upon that mountain, or whatever, wherever we were. I felt that, and I wanted to sob, and I just said, "You want me to go get him? I'll go get him." Yes. So I've told you, and this is a record, that I did indeed release this to you and even give you what Father had for you today. Even Rachel and Leah. Why Rachel was cursed and punished like she was? Because she spit in Father's face when he was delivering Jacob and about to name him Yasharel. He was not named Israel. He was named Yasharel. And it means one Elohim, and he is upright. And we know him to be Yahuwah. In the name Israel, there's 3 false gods in there that aren't real, including one that is Egyptian. That's a bullshit name for us. It doesn't belong to us. We are Hebrew. We're Brew. So he was renamed Yasharel. That was going to come, the house of Yasharel, that was going to come from his loins. Because they chose Yahuwah and got into line. So you think about that. I hope this blessed you guys. I hope I was gentle on you. And I hope that I answered all your questions. And if I didn't, leave them in DM. Because that's the first thing I check when I get up. If is there anything I need to look up for somebody or go to Father for. And I don't think there's anything else. I think that we have covered everything. So if everything goes good tomorrow, and if Father doesn't give me, say, "Hey, I want you to take this to them," or I don't dream it, then we're going to go into Zephaniah. And there's only 3 chapters, and we're going to find out. You're going to be able to look out there and be like, "Ooh, that's what Yahuwah said." Wow. You're going to watch it, because that's what he wants us to do. He said he will show himself to the heathen, and I'm not going to meet Edom as a man, and he is not. So until the next time, I love you guys with all my heart. You know that. I tell you every day. And I bow my head low to the princes of Yehuda, to the princes of Gad, and to Yasharel, and to all my sisters that are in here. I appreciate you. And this is going to feed you, and it's going to get you ready for what's coming. And like some people tell me, "Well, look, he's going to take us through the air and take us up there," right? No, he's not. We learned the other night when I read to you that Yah said, and I told you when this stuff breaks off, get in your house, shut the door, button it down. Yah said that he will come and deliver us out of our dwelling place. And I have a pretty good idea how he's going to do it because I dreamed it. It came to my door. And I'll share that with you when he, let me just write that down. Maybe that can be a little personal dream that I had. Dwelling place. Okay. I'll share that with you, but that is how I expect it to happen. And I'll give you a little hint. Do you remember the way that I told you that Jeremiah was gotten out of prison by the king of Babylon's soldiers? They knew right where he was. And that was the first thing they did when they came into the city. And they went and let Jeremiah come out. And the king of Babylon even said, give him something to eat, because they were just starving him. He went through it to try to get this under this king to understand what this idolatry was going to do to our people. He would not listen. So the king of Babylon, Yah told the king of Babylon where he was. He went to the cell, had his soldiers get him out first, give him something to eat, left him sitting out there, and they went straight to get the king and his princes. He was a white man. That's who the king of Babylon was. And that is who Yah has over and over had to deliver us into his hands for the very stuff that you have on right now. And you're not to have it in your house, and you're not to have it on your land. And you're going to be amazed when you get rid of it. You make this vow in front of him to get rid of it. If you do, you're going to watch your whole life change. That's my son. He's a witness to it. I'm a witness to it. His wife is a witness to it. And our children were not born under curse or the shame of Esau. They were free. You're not born into curse. It's your parents' choice. We weren't making that choice. You separate yourself from them and all their ways. And now you know what you have on you and what you purchase. And you're just saying, I'm on their side, and they're saying he belongs to us, Rome. You're going to get that mark. So, I pray this blessed you, and that's the plan for tomorrow night, unless he gives me something in my sleep or speaks to me when I'm going through my day, when I just get up. I want you to talk to him about this. Until then, I love you guys with all my heart. You know I do. And I hope that, and listen, guys, please, go in there and read the first chapter of Zephaniah. Can you please do that? Because like when I watch my videos, every time I mess up reading, I literally go like this on the bed. It cringes me because it's his words. And I try my best, you know I do. So could you please just go in there and read that chapter so when it hits me, oh, you're being videoed. I can't stop it. I've been trying, it's been 10 years. So I'm just going to deal with it. Go in there and read it so that when we come to it tomorrow night, when I go to like chopping it up and like, you'll be like, oh, that's what that means, okay. And I can just move on, you know. And like the three princes, thank you so much for sticking with me. And thanks for even saying that I opened your eyes and that you didn't know. I love you for it. I really do. I'm glad we're still brother and sister. And thank you for your good morning messages this morning. I love you so much. And that's why we didn't have to go into 2-5. But because the first one got him. And I appreciate you. And I think more of you as a prince and a man for coming and saying, hey, I can swallow this. And I adore him for it too. So believe that. Because he said it. So I think I covered everything, you guys. I'm so sorry I kept you long. I know I did. But it was important, and it's going to help you grow, and it's going to help you get out from under curse so that you can be raised up above the heathen. And with bags and clothes and a home and land and keep going. You just keep going up. Why? Because we reflect him. And when we obey his laws, we go back to when me and my daughter go into public, everybody that we go into a store, they stop and they just look at us. They don't know what they see. But that's what y'all was talking about. Wow, they are just, wow. Wow, I love the way she carries that loaf of bread. Wow, her hair's beautiful. You know what I'm saying? I'm not playing with you. I will not play with you ever when I'm telling you the truth. You take on this look of him. And it's so much deeper than what you are that they see. And they cannot take their eyes off of you. And they don't know what it is. It's not the loaf of bread that made us look good. We didn't carry it differently. It's just we are a reflection of Father as his children. You see what I'm saying? It's an awesome place to be. So I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow night. And if you need anything, hit me in DM, and I'll look it up, and I will get to you. I'll get to you. Don't worry about it. I'm going to get to every single one of you, no problem. I just need you to be patient so I can balance this. You know, this is new for me too, and I want to do good for him. So I will get to you, no worries. So I love you guys. I bow my head to the whole house of Yasharel, to Yehud. I bow my head low, to God I bow my head low, and I love you with all my heart. Until tomorrow night, shalom.